All right, we're going to get joined by none other than the lovely Beomulf. Hello, Mr. Beomulf.
Hello, Mr. Man of Chickens.
How are you on this wonderful day?
Well, I felt the need to co-cast with you because I need to defend my honor as someone who actually plays Quidditch. It's an actual sport. And, you know, I'm just saying, dude. Need to defend my honor from the lobby chat, right?
I see. Yes. Well, I thought Quidditch was one of those sports that, you know, required magical powers, but it seems that you can just be a muggle and play it.
Oh,
These
yeah,
days.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Before we go into that, Chicken Man, we should probably talk about these players just a little bit. You know, introduce them, get that out of the way.
There is some StarCraft going on. That's probably a good plan.
Yeah, do the honors. Why not?
All right. Spawning in the lower left-hand corner of Oxide, representing Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is Cure.
And look at those fancy fly-ins in the upper right. In the blue, he is the teamless Zerg player, but rocking that into the clan tag. Give it up for the Octopus Zerg, Leenock.
Only the highest quality fly-ins, because I can't observe the rest of the game, so, you know, you just do what you can at the start. You make it look really fancy, and then when you miss all the action, people forgive you.
Yeah, no, I have my entire intro sequence scripted.
Oh my god.
So, you know, it twists in for 7 seconds. It shows a splash banner, middle of music plays, twists out, and I just got to press one button. It makes my life so easy.
That's incredible.
It took some time. It definitely took some doing, but I'm pretty happy with it.
You know, I thought about doing something like that, kind of like how GSL does, right? And then I was like, that'd be way too much work. So I didn't do that. And you were like, no, it's fine.
No, it's worth it. The casting tool's fan. I mean, honestly, from the graphical side, I just made a custom casting tool thing, which was really easy. I just found my own image. Suddenly, when she made my graphics, she made me a little image for that too. I'm like, okay, slot that in.
Nice.
And then the rest of it is timers and macros and whatever. It works out pretty well. So, it's fun.
There you go. That's some high quality production.
Well, I do try. I mean, certainly, you know what? I got to make up for the lack of high quality casting, right?
Right? Well, we could talk about this Reaper shooting Lings.
No, let's not talk about that. We know what's happening here.
That's very silly.
If 2 Zerglings die, but no, we're fine.
Yeah, it's worth noting I figure if the Reaper gets 1 kill, that means the Terran's gonna win. It's like 100%.
Well, you say that, but I saw when I was doing the B stream on Friday, we saw Ziggy get a couple lings, and then Ziggy just got bopped. So, you know, sometimes you see a Terran player where they really commit hard to it. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna get something, and then you're like, okay, congrats, Mr. Pro Terran player, you got a lot. But still, the imbalance is you're still not favored in this matchup, regardless of whether a Zergling does die or not. Because Ziggy versus Denver, I mean, we know how that one's gonna work on out. But actually, it was a really cool build, at least in game 1. It was 3 Rax Reaper into mech.
Ooh, that's cheeky. Ziggy has some fun builds. Ziggy is fun to watch.
Yeah, he really does.
I just want to shout out to Cranky Ducklings who just raided in. I'm on call with none other than the lovely Beomulf.
Yeah.
We're having a good time. We're casting some high quality StarCraft here.
Absolutely. Thank you, the Ducklings, for making everyone know that Chicken Man is the greatest man who is also a chicken that anyone can ever know. And he also talked about StarCraft with some incredibly mellifluous tones. So
I don't even know what that word
means.
means. Damn, you are a good caster.
No, see, here's the thing, Chicken Man. I make up for lack of game knowledge and lack of pacing and lack of chemistry with casters by just hitting them with the SAT words. So it gives me more time to talk because I'm like, yes, here's this word that I barely understand, but you know, maybe give him pause so I have more time to talk.
It's good to know your strengths, you know, as a commentator. But let's talk about the game like a little bit here. It's not super exciting. It's pretty standard. There's a 3rd command center. There's Hellions. There's Cloaked Banshees. This is kind of what you expect from Cure. Leenock on the other side of things is, I mean, he's building what he needs, right? He's got a Bane Nest on the way. He's got his spores coming up, and he's just droning and getting into a lair. It's just about if the Hellions can find any damage at this point and what Leenock's next tech path will be.
Yeah, this is a bit of an early bathing nest here because Leenock, we all saw what he did in the previous series, right? Just again, Ling Bane, Ling Bane, Ling Bane, get a slightly delayed lair maybe, slightly delayed upgrades, but you're just gonna get so many drones so early that you're gonna have what you need to be able to hold off really pretty much any Terran push through the early game, again, just by massive amounts of Lings. And because you're not going roaches, because you're not getting some sort of early tech, you do want to make sure you have that Baneling nest early, just in case that, I don't know, Cure decides to drop down to Armory and say, hey, I'm going to do a build that probably isn't going to work. But you know what? Sometimes it does. So just keep yourself safe there. Now, Cure, for his part, Hellion Banshee is a thing. It can get some damage. We're going to have to see just how much. He has made 2 Banshees. So he is kind of committing for the actual drone kill idea, right? Of course, even with their Spore, double tap, Banshees do double tap them. But there's already an Observer here. So his Banshees coming on into the main base. They're not going to get much of anything. And Leenock, he's just going to continue to hit that drone button. Right, already on 65 workers here at not even 6 minutes in the game.
Yeah, he's definitely just pumping those out. I will say the upgrades feel a little bit late from Leenock, but they're pretty close to what Cures are, so I don't think it's going to be too impactful in the game. Although a lot of times I see the 1-1 start up for Leenock before, or for the Zerg players rather, before lair. But looks like he traded off to get that lair up a little sooner, and he's going into Mutas and into that Spire.
Yeah, this is kind of that really interesting. It's not quite 2 base mutas, right? You're not really behind on upgrades, but it is an accelerated muta timing. You do put yourself in a position where, yeah, you're going to have mutas just a little bit quicker than like your 8-minute muta timing that we occasionally see players like Cyril do. So, yeah, your upgrades are going to be a little bit slower, but you committed all of your mineral income early to make sure you can get that gas later, right? Get up to 65 to 66 workers rather quickly. And you're talking about upgrades. Yes, Cure's gonna have a small window where he will be at 1-1 versus the 0-0 of Leenock, but that 1-1 timing is going to really time on up with the Baneling speed of Leenock. And considering Cure hasn't had a big opportunity to clear up creep at the moment, right? The creep is still spreading rather well. That first 1-1 timing before we do see upgrade parity with centrifugal hooks done, Leenock's going to be able to take that fight rather easily because he will still have the creep on the map that he needs to make sure this does happen. Of course, Cure, there are the doodads here. He's going to look to siege on up here, and maybe that's going to allow him to do something. He will scan. There we go. Baneling speed is done, and this is the timing Cure's been looking for. 1-1 here. 1-1 just about 30 seconds out from Leenock. Go to the Queens with his Lings with the Banes. This really should not be too difficult of a cleanup for the Octopus Surge.
Yeah, he just comes right on in. Cure has to pick up. Just a great defense from Leenock. He just held off as long as he could. Cure's going to keep on rallying across the map, but there's a lot of Ling Bane here, and there's that 1-1 finishing up for Leenock to equalize the upgrades. I don't know if Cure can really stay out on the map like this too long.
And the other thing we should look at here, oh, I didn't notice that burrow is already done. Leenock already going for some burrowed Banes. That's pretty cool. This is a really early timing for that burrow. One thing we should also mention, of course, Cure, his armory is rather late. But the one thing I will say, Leenock here, burrowing them right on the edge of creep is not what you want to do. You want to burrow them off creep, so then there's not just random scans that will pick them up as the creep is being removed. But Cure, again, getting that armory late does mean that any sort of upgrade advantage that he may have had into 2-2 versus the 2-2 of his opponent, well, realistically, it's not really going to be there. Of course, Leenock, he hasn't started his 2-2 yet, so he did have a time where he could be in the lead here. So, I don't know, putting the line of my truth as they try to find some damage. Leenock really not committing to them in this game. Only 8. We don't see any more. It's just a little bit of a harassment squad, not something that is really and truly going to cause problems. So there we go. Both sets of burrowed Banes going to get scanned down at the same time.
Yeah, like you said, if they're on creep, the scan's going to go down anyway, so a little unfortunate there. And Leenock is just producing Lings right now, which has me a little worried. He's got no upgrades. There's no more mutas coming out. He's just going to try to clean this up with a huge surround crashing through. The Baneling's trying to find the juicy center of those Marines, and, well, that'll be plenty to clean up Cure. And Leenock's just going to keep pushing across the map. He is not stopping now.
Yeah, so I guess the play here in part is Leenock saying, okay, fine, I feel comfortable now. I've held off this push. You're no longer situated. Look at all these bird Banes. I love what Leenock's doing here. It hasn't worked out for him yet, but Cure is not, oh, there we go. The scan doesn't get it. He's not going to expect the burrowed Banelings here, not on his side of the map. I mean, yes, he does understand that he just got pushed back into his natural, but it's not something that you expect. Generally, it's, oh, Leenock just all over the place with this. Oh, wait. Okay, we're fine. Like, I saw the army moving into the brushes. I'm like, oh.
Ooh, that's close. Yeah, I think Bly's the only person I've seen that does this regularly, and just when he attacks and pushes in, he pushes the Terran back and then just burrows a few Banes. Oh, look at the bait. Oh, it doesn't quite work. Oh, man. He's trying so hard.
Yeah, but anyways, now that Leenock has comfortably held this, right? Has comfortably held the aggression, has pushed Cure back onto his side of the map. That's when he got 2-2. But unfortunately, I think he had what he needed, even if he had expended those extra 500 total, like 250, 250, or is it 350, 350? Anyway, spent that extra money on those upgrades. He did have more than enough, and he could actually have an upgrade lead on Cure for the next minute or so, and that really would have allowed him to go and maybe even break this third base location, start to do damage to Cure's economy, not just to keep Cure on his own side of the map. But of course, Leenock, he's still taking advantage of things. He does have his 5th base just about done. I wouldn't even be surprised to see like a double expand here in the upper left. And also, look at this. This is Muta into Hydra.
Yeah, I guess he's going into lurkers because the Hydra Den. Ooh, there you go. Couple nice Marines getting taken down there. He's getting into the hive, so I imagine the lurker den should go down pretty soon. I don't even know if he's gonna get like Hydra upgrades. He might just straight up go to lurkers with all of his Hydras.
I don't know. If you. It's weird, right? When we look at something like this, is banelings they can. Oh, there we go. Yeah, there was a baneling that we missed.
Oh no.
Anyway, I don't know if you have enough gas to realistically go into a strong lurker force after you've gone mutas, right? That is a lot of gas that you're spending on how many mutas do we have on the field? On 13 mutas, I think a couple more of that, like 16 total mutas. 1600 gas is a lot when you're trying to go on into lurker tech, because really, if you're going Ling Bane Hydra into lurker, you're spending you're saving yourself a lot of gas. You're building like 12 Hydras, and then it's Ling Bane, it's Banelings, and yes, Banelings do cost gas, but not nearly as much as that Muta flock does do. And yeah, Chicken Man, we will see Hydra upgrades here. So it really does feel like Leenock is interested in going into a full-on swap, right? He's got his mutas, they've been powerful, and he is getting +1 for them. But it does feel like he's interested, at the very least, in considering the idea of going into more of like a Hydra-Ling Bane type of style with some lurkers added on. And you have the sneeze happening on the other side. No Widowmines will get triggered, and the Baneling's not going to be able to kill them off either. There we go. Now the Widowmines starting to go down just a little bit. But of course, this is just triggering Leenock's trap card here. So many Banelings looking to run on.
Oh my god. So many Banelings. A classic Leenock move right there. And I think part of the reason he wants to get into Hydras and Lurkers is he's now forced out Widowmines and Thors. And those they just do not really anything to Hydra Lurker. They're not that great in that situation. I don't think we'd see Cure make those if he knew there were Lurkers going to be coming out.
Well, you know, Chicken Man, 3-3 Thors do more DPS than a DT does. So it's not like we're ever going to get to 3-3 Thors in this game, but just pouring it out. You know, maybe in a 60-minute game, you're going to enjoy having Thors against Hydra. I don't know.
Whoa.
We do have a pause here.
A little bit of a pause. Just a little pee-pee. But I love to see that Leenock has Adrenal going, which is one of the best upgrades in the entire game, if not just straight up the best buff to a unit in the game. And a lot of players kind of skip it or delay it once they get their hive, but Leenock, he's been making a ton of lings. So he's right on it with the Adrenal.
So do we have any lurkers just yet? We don't. 4 Hydras are on the map, but I mean, Leenock's maxed out.
He just started morphing 4 lurkers, so that's what he's gonna have. Might have to trade some of this Ling Bane out. Cure's army is massive. He's on 59 workers, so that's 141 army supply. That is a huge army for Cure.
Yeah, the one thing we do have to consider, of course, is this is still Leenock on Ling Bane. He still has, actually, he did not get +3 attack, unfortunately. He has the money for it. He really should start that, or at the very least, say get +1 ranged. But this is still Ling Bane on creep, and with lurkers as well. This is one of the most, if not the most, cost or supply efficient compositions in the game, assuming it's on creep. When it gets off creep, well, that's a bit of a different story here, but at the moment, Leenock is able to make some tremendous things happen. As now Ling Bane is going to look to roll on in once again. Zergling's getting on top of this tank. He's going down, and actually the mutas, they're just going to target this command center down. It's going to start to burn. Do we have a repair there? I think that answer is yes, just barely in time. Command center will stay alive here, but Zerglings are going to burrow, and he's going to force a scan.
That's so annoying. Yeah, and he can't really afford that right now. 45 SCVs. Honestly, if Cure takes a bad trade, he's in a lot of trouble. Oh my god, there's still a Ling there.
It almost looked for a second like Cure's just gonna like long distance mine, right? It's kind of like, oh, it's inefficient, but whatever, I need the money. But no, okay.
Yeah, honestly, Leenock's in a great position right now. 85 workers. He's just keeping Cure back on his side of the map with an inferior economy. He can trade out some of his less necessary units now for something a little bit better, get a few more of those lurkers. He's going into a greater spire.
Oh, those Widowmine shots on the right-hand side. How many did that get? Wow, that was a lot of circling just died to the Widowmines on the right-hand side. It's kind of cool here. We're seeing Leenock just ping-pong around. He's like, yes, I forced Widowmines, but now I'm forcing tanks here. There's a bunch of lurkers. That sounds like fun. So, hey, you know what?
My
really
God.
against tanks. Brood Lords are, but you know what? You got to be able to get there here. Leenock's going to look to crush on in once again. The mutas that he popped out of, they're still finding tremendous value because it's just a lot of marauders. A lot of marauders that are dying. And now with the lurkers, they've sieged on up here.
The lurkers are in a really bad position, though. Yeah, the Lings and Banes and mutas all went to the left, and the lurkers kind of just died on the right-hand side. That was about as good of a trade as Cure could hope for, but I don't think he quite has enough left to do more than clear a little creep right now.
And man, look at the supply chart here. We see Cure at like plus 40, plus 60, something like that, in terms of total army supply, and then all of a sudden it is down. It is equal here. So yeah, maybe not the best trade for Leenock, but certainly it was enough. Again, he's playing with house money here. He's got a big bank. He's got a powerful army, and Leenock or Cure just doesn't. His army supply is starting to fall on down here. Widowmines are going to be a little bit annoying, but still,
you've heard of the accidental swarm host, right? Well, we have 3 of those here for Leenock.
Oh, we do?
Just 3 swarm hosts.
All right, I got it. I know what this is for.
All right, hit me.
We still see plenty of Widowmines on the map, right?
Oh, yeah. Genius. Look at it. It's going to happen. He's going to do it.
Using the locust.
I mean, when you have 3, you kind of have to. And it's going to actually do some damage here, at least delay the army from coming back. And now we have a base going down for Cure. He's stuck. He just got a 4th base up, so he does have a little bit of mining, but it's not where you want to be. And again, Leenock's side of the map has been almost just completely untouched for a while now. Finally, Cure's getting over here. He's going to force a cancel on a few of these Banes.
Yeah, but now Lurker's going to seize it up. Lurkers, of course, with that extra damage versus armor, do tremendously well against Thors. And again, breakthrough cracklings, yeah, they're going to do something similar as well. We have more Foremost on them. Is this Leenock's plan? Is this just some sort of mental damage here? I mean, there are more Foremost on
is
the way.
Is this BM? Is this BM? You know what? We should ask Denver. He knows a lot about BM. He's got strong opinions. Another base going down, and honestly, this is kind of feeling like the end here. Leenock is up 70 supply over Cure. And how does Cure successfully move across the map from here? You know, it doesn't feel like he has the army to do it. I guess that's a good start, but there's still lurkers over here. There's still Banes being morphed. Another swarm host is out.
That's chicken man, because Cure understands that as long as Leenock has Foremost on the map, he has a chance.
That's true.
Because again, Foremost against an army like this, not all that great. But again, the Zerglings are doing such a good job of buffering for these lurkers that Cure really is struggling to get on top of them, which means free damage against all the marauders, against everything else here. Lurker's going to burrow on in once again. I just really don't see Cure breaking this position. Not really. There's still creeps and their banelings going on in. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and even if he did, what does he get? A 5th base here? It's just not valuable enough. And there's going to be the GG. Leenock taking game 1 down over Cure. What?
Yeah, that is unexpected to say the least.
I love Leenock. Leenock is awesome, but Cure is like a top 3 Terran in the world, right now. And
100%.
And that is a huge upset in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, Cure, last week he won 2 out of the 3 of the EPT Cups. And the only one he lost was because he proxied 2-rack Rainer in 2 of his losses. And he ran into Rainer, right? The best Zerg in the world, but he stomped through North America, he stomped through Korea rather easily. And man, if Leenock was able to beat him here, 2-0, 2-1, whatever, this is going to be the first time in a while that Cure does not at least make like round of 4, round of 8, something like that.
Yeah, that is huge. This would be his first match.
Yeah. Oh, we almost forgot you into the lobby. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh. That's all right. I got there. Almost.
There we go. Yeah, now you're showing in game. We're forgetting one other. Oh,
All right. I guess we're leaving.
I guess we're leaving. They said re-reap so Chicken Man can get it, but you're already in. So Chicken Man, you're just a ghost in the machine.
Is that what it is?
I think so. I don't think anyone knows whether you exist or not. Are you man? Are you chicken? Where do you live? Where do you come from? Where do you go? Where do you come from?
No, that's
Chicken Man.
Joe. I'm not Cotton Eye Joe. That's a different one.
Yeah,
Different
that's
guy. I do the chicken dance, not the Cotton Eye Joe.
That's fair. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got confused by popular line dances, or like group dances, I guess. Not necessarily a line dance.
I don't really know what constitutes a line dance. Do you just have to like do it in a line?
That would be my guess. I was gonna say yeah. I think it is dancing in a line, but I don't know. If someone knows in either Chicken Man's or I's chat, please educate us of the difference between a regular dance, a square dance, and a line dance. Is a line dance in a line and a square dance in a square? Is there more there? Do you have to wear square shoes if you're square dancing, and linear shoes if you're line dancing?
How does a linear shoe work? That sounds painful. It sounds like you'd be squeezing your foot.
Shoe.
Yeah, my feet aren't two-dimensional though.
Well, if you think about it, isn't an ice skate a two-dimensional? Isn't an ice skate a linear shoe?
I guess so. Is that how that works?
I mean, yeah, I think so, right? It's got the it's got a almost a two-dimensional thing on the bottom of it.
That's true. I have an interesting fact about that actually. After we get into this game, why don't you introduce our first player?
Be my pleasure. In the bottom right, in the red for Dragon Phoenix Gaming, he'll fix all that ails ya. He is Cure.
And his opponent in the upper left-hand corner. He must be, then, the disease, trying to take down the cure. It is Leenock.
And look at this. 15 pool from Leenock in game number 2. This has got to be a reactive thing. How many times has Cure hit a 2 racks in EPT Cups? The answer is a lot.
It's a lot.
This is more defensive.
Yeah.
But still.
It's very funny, actually, that Leenock is... That's very much playing the player, right?
Mm-hmm. But Chicken Man, you had a fun fact.
I do have a fun fact. Ice skates, the bottom of ice skates, it's not just a blade, right? Like a knife or something. It's actually, there's 2 points of contact, or 2 lines of contact with a little divot in the middle. So essentially there's like a little U shape on the very bottom. And that the blade is actually the 2 points of contact.
I did not know that, but Chicken Man, tell me, how does someone in Hawaii learn so much in the ways of ice?
I watched a YouTube video.
Ah.
Yeah. Yep.
Fair enough.
That's how I know that fact. I have been in a number of winters with ice.
How are you so wise in the ways of science?
You may call me Tim.
Man, it's been too long since I've seen that movie to go watch it again. Actually, though,
It's a great movie.
Talking about Arthurian or pseudo-Arthurian stuff, I'm really excited for the Green Knight. It looks really good.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I do want to see that. It looks really interesting.
Although, as a friend told me, it's got the exact same scores on Rotten Tomatoes as Uncut Gems, and that was something that critics loved and other people did not love as much necessarily. So I don't know.
Uncut Gems, it looked good to me, but I don't know. Who knows? You know, it's all about what you want. I don't listen to the critics. I don't listen to them. I think they're wrong. And I don't listen to anybody, so that tracks.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I'm a critic and I don't listen to myself.
Yeah. Is that good? I don't know. I feel like you should listen to yourself.
You just gotta listen to your heart.
I'm so glad you said that. I was gonna have to say it if you didn't, so thank you.
You're welcome. See, Chicken Man, this is how this works. We just talk about nothing. We turned StarCraft casting into a Seinfeld episode. That was the show about nothing. This is the cast about nothing.
Right. Yes. So our job then is to just do nothing, basically. Just,
I mean, that's already what I'm doing.
True.
I'm letting you observe.
I'm following a Reaper, so it's real high level observing here.
Well, you're following a Hellion too.
That's right. I just selected those Hellions.
This is top tier production value from top tier commentators.
That's right.
Everyone should be impressed. If you're in Chicken Man stream, make sure to go drop him all of your money into your coffers. For there's a great level of observing and commentary and all that fun stuff. I'm just sitting here. I'm just riding the coattails of man who would be foul.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, you could ride the coattails, but I don't know if they'll hold you. There's not a lot of coattails there. They're pretty ratty. These Hellions, though, they're diving in. They're getting some work done.
Yeah, Leenock really kind of cut some corners here in the amount of certainties that he made. I think well, he's lost them all now, but he only made 6, and we went a little bit more than that to defend this kind of 4:30-ish timing. Certainly the answer is like 10 to 12 certainties that you get to right around the time that your speed does finish, just to make sure you don't take much damage. And this is why. Every game, no, are Terrans going to do that? Not really, but if they spot openings, if they spot weakness, well, that is what happens. Also, thank you so much for the follow, Berserk84.
Yeah, anybody in my stream should go follow Beomulf, and anybody in Beomulf stream should follow me, because that's the big brain thing to do, guys. So let's get on it, Twitch chat.
Those are the rules, and as my girlfriend's always telling me, she doesn't make the rules. We don't make the rules here.
That's right.
You should go follow Chicken Man. He's fantastic. If you're also in Chicken Man's chat, follow Chicken Man. Just saying.
That's probably a good idea. I kind of figured they already were, but I guess you could just, if everybody just slaps both follow buttons, that's the best thing to do, really.
Well, hopefully they don't slap it too hard, because then their hands are going to be sad.
That's true. That's true. Don't hurt your hand. Don't break your hand. It's very painful.
Gently tap the follow button.
That's right.
And if your hand slips and you want to hit the subscribe button too, no problem.
That's right.
But these Banshees are getting a lot of damage. How many workers have died? 14 drones have died over the course of this game. This is actually starting to become a really big problem for Leenock.
Yeah, it's some very good opening harassment from Cure. Maybe he had to put the big boy pants on after game 1. He said, this is not going to be easy. We need to try hard. He put on his good playlist, put the headphones on and turn the lights out.
I mean, he rolled out of bed. He realized, oh, wow, Leenock didn't take him all that long to get through the first round here. I guess I got to play some games. First one's going to be a warm-up. It's fine. My hands are now warm. They're loose. We're all good here. And now I can show him true power. Exactly how good I am in this game. So, again, the damage here. But Leenock will have an opportunity to get damage of his own. 7 mutas are on the way. And this was a much faster Spire than it was in the previous game. Or actually, no, it's about the same time. He just has skipped upgrades because he has taken 14 drones worth of damage and realized that he's got to skip corners somewhere. And at the very least, if you have Muta with bailing speed, you have a shot at making sure that Cure does not kill you.
Yeah, he's actually doing this one a little bit differently too. He's getting that +1 flyer attack, so he wants to just commit to making mutas. And I do think it's a little bit earlier than last game, that Spire. Obviously, the game's a little bit different too. Leenock just gonna try to hold on back at home with the Lings and Banes here against the Marines and Mines. Oh, those little mines. Whew. Good splits.
And it's kind of funny. We're so used to talking about Marine splits, right? This thing is the pinnacle of a StarCraft micro, but we've seen some really cool evolution in certainly micro. We're dealing with Widow Mines in the whole position and just sending one out and all that, and just looking for the lock on. Again, really cool developments, and we're starting to see that more and more here. Now Leenock looking to roll on in, do what he can to push Cure back to make sure that this follow-on push is not going to do nearly as much as he would like. But he has no Banelings left. There are literally no Banelings left on the map here. 9 more are on the way, but there's no creeps defending this third base, which means Cure, he can get so much closer. He can set up his push so much closer to the third base of Leenock, and that just makes it so much more vulnerable.
Yeah, and Cure just continuing to push. He's rallying across the map. He just wants to keep the pressure on Leenock. After that early game damage, it's a lot harder for Leenock to get up the defense he needs. But he's continuing to make those mutas, so there will come a tipping point if enough Marines die that all of this will just get cleaned right on up, including medevacs, including any reinforcements that are rallying across the map. Cure needs to be really careful not to let that happen.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Cure has one he has combat shields, he has stim. Leenock does not even have E-base, or he does not even have Evo chambers here. He is not able to go on in and really just the longer this game goes, the worse it is for him. He's doing a decent job of holding on here, but now here he's realized that he's got maybe just a little bit too much. Nice blitz on the left-hand side. It looks like it's going to be able to do just enough. Yeah, that's going to be the tipping point here. GG, Cure. We're going to game 3, Chicken Man.
There we go. And that's what I like to see from Cure. It really did feel like he was like, all right, you know what? We gotta go hard on him. Leenock is not going to give this to us easy. And yeah, he just kept that pressure on. I was worried that he was going to lose that first push before the reinforcements came across, but yeah, Cure just had a little too much there.
And it does. Also, I do apologize for people in my stream. My bot is apparently dead.
Oh no, dude.
Yeah, it's dead. Maybe I can reset the session.
That's so sad. Poor bot. Can we get an F in the chat for Beomulf's bot?
F in the chat for Beomulf's bot, indeed. Also, shout out to, I assume, Chicken Man's followers that have gone on and followed me. Hopefully, some people came on over and followed you as well, because otherwise, I'm going to feel guilty about just mooching on the viewers you got from the raid from the ducklings.
Well, you know what? Any viewers of yours that don't follow me that didn't come over, I don't want them anyways. All right.
That's fair, yeah.
I don't want you guys in my channel. Then, I didn't even want your follow anyways, guys. It's fine. It's all right.
But no, dude, I am actually so jealous of really. Okay, I'm not talking about followers here. It is what it's like 6 o'clock your time now, something like that.
It is, yes, 6 o'clock.
Oh man, I'm incredibly jealous of you have like the optimal Korean casting time zone if you're not like in Korea. I imagine it makes North America EPT a little bit harder, but at the very least you're not doing the whole, midnight to 3 a.m. shift that you got to do on the East Coast.
Yes, yeah, Korea cast is really easy. It's actually the EU cast that's really difficult for me. That one starts at 6 a.m. my time because I'm 12 hours offset. That might be okay for some people. That's not okay for me.
Well, if it's me living my life, terrible. If it's me casting StarCraft, yeah, that's not bad. I mean,
that's true.
I had a lot of 4 a.m. casts over the winter for like different Outbacks Korean events.
Honestly, I 6 a.m. cast, I could definitely do that. The only problem is that if I do EU then NA, it's like 12 hours. So if I start at 6 a.m. and it's 12 hours, then it becomes a little bit of a problem.
Which, well, shout out to Steadfast, who does that like every week.
I mean, he's insane.
6 a.m. wake up. Oh no, the worst thing, I had a day when I did King of Battles Korean qualifiers at 6 a.m. And then European qualifiers starting at noon. And then a 2v2 tournament that Sugar was doing that was semifinals and grand finals. It was like an 18-hour broadcast day or something. Never again, but I can say I've done it. So I can say
there
I have
you
the
go.
endurance for it.
Yeah, it's hard to do it. It's hard to keep the energy up. I did the triple ESL cast before they changed the day Korea was on. And that's tough, man. I don't know if I could do that again. I'm getting too old for that.
I just wish I could do Europe, but it's right smack in the middle of a workday, and your boy's gainfully employed, and it's not StarCraft, unfortunately. So that's how that goes.
Imagine having to go to work. I'd rather cast StarCraft like this gentleman in the lower left-hand corner of Jagannatha. For Dragon Phoenix Gaming, it is Cure.
Oh man, what a transition in the upper right. In the blue, is he gonna put our biggest upset of the night here? He is the teamless Zerg, Leenock.
Yeah, you gotta use that backspace button. Takes you from command center or from main base to main base.
Oh, it is when I figured out that worked in observers, right? Because that's how I used to use the backspace inject method.
Oh, wow.
When I figured out, yeah. Oh man, it was so great back in Heart of the Swarm where you could just kind of spam inject and spam bases, and you would inject in like 0.73 seconds. But no longer. It's dead.
That's too bad. I'm terrible at I created my own inject method, and it was really bad, and I still use that to this day.
Is it called not injecting?
Well, yes, but that's besides the point. No, I have my main base, my natural, and my third queen hotkeyed to 6, 7, and 8. And so I double click, inject, double click, inject, double click, inject.
Ooh, and that's not even, yeah, because you don't have your fourth base. You don't have fourth queen on 9, I assume.
No, my other queens, all my other queens are on 4, so they spread creep and then inject extra hatches.
Okay. Not terrible.
It's, you know what? It's pretty bad.
Well,
I bet you
that sounds
Leenock
like
doesn't do that. I bet you.
No, most of the top tier players. Well, I don't know. Leenock, he is coming back from military, but most of the top tier players, they do the hybrid method, right? Which is you use rapid fire for the inject itself, but it's you base cam between your bases. So
right.
F1 double tap, F1 press W, F2 press W. Is the drone's gonna get that? No, they won't.
That was close.
Wait.
Oh! That went down to 1 hit point. Or 2. Maybe it was 2.
1 kill, 2 hit points. Whatever it is, I really thought, oh man, I thought that queen was going to get the second shot off. Kira he has done a really good job of dancing with death, both in this game and the previous one. Surviving where I thought we were going to see a second queen spawn and it was going to be a dead reaper, but no, Kira, no. Let me show you all how it's done here. It's going to be fine. And also, it should be noted here, Leenock, once again, he has gone for delayed speed in this game. It's going to be a 4-minute speed instead of 3:30. A thing that Solar started messing around with about a month and a half ago. And Cure has already punished this when Leenock did have speed. He just didn't build enough Zerglings. And Cure ran in for that 4-minute, at 3:45, 4-minute timing when speed was existing, right, with the Hellions. This time, speed's not going to be done until 4 minutes. So there is a much wider window here that Cure may be able to dive on in with, say, 2 Hellions in a... Oh, that was a fun visual bug.
Oh, did it pop up on the... Yeah, I love that. I don't know why that happens, but they're just jealous of the air units, you know?
To quote a wonderful old base trade meme, you know, Hellions should shoot up.
Wow, I feel like you had to dig for that one.
I don't know. I started watching StarCraft in 2013 and I never stopped. So yeah, you know what? Watched a lot of like Acer Team Story Cup back in the day.
Ooh, wow. Some classic stuff. I remember the IPL Fight Club. I used to watch that all the time.
Ooh, that was a little bit before my time. I got into it like right as the MLG New York studio was closing down, pretty much.
Back in those days, I didn't even know what event I was watching most of the time. Like you talk about different events, and I'm like, I probably did watch that, but I would just go to Team Liquid and click on the sidebar, not look at what event it was, and just watch it. I feel like a lot of people still do that, you know?
You know, it's kind of funny, actually. I never got in the habit of using Team Liquid. StarCraft Reddit was like my StarCraft news source. And I would go to Team Liquid pretty much only to read their write-ups on tournaments.
That's interesting. See, I pretty much never went to StarCraft Reddit until like 2016. I would go there occasionally, but I never actually cared about anything on there, which is kind of what I've gone back to. But Team Liquid was one of my first introductions to StarCraft.
You know, it's actually, yeah, so I started watching StarCraft with Scarlet's run in 2013 for the season finals, where she had that game at Star Station against Bomber that was, she had like creep in his base by 10 minutes. It was insane.
Oh man, no wonder you're a lifelong fan. You start out with that game.
Well, no, this wasn't Scarlet Bomber in New York. This was not the Broad Banelings game. This was the Star Station game. Was it Star Station? In the season finals, where I was like, oh, I corner beat a Korean, even if she lost the series. But yeah, so these Banshees, they're getting damage. I don't think overall the damage has accrued quite to the same levels it did in the first game or in the second game, but still 9 workers now. The Hellions, they found an inside track, but no, Leenock, the 3 queens are going to be enough to make sure that Cure, he's not going to dive a little bit too far. He's not going to find things best left hidden, although 6 more workers go down. No, that was still okay. It was still the 6.
Yeah, the Hellions are clearing a lot of creep. They're being very annoying, but they haven't gone for the drones just yet, and they're not going to be able to with 28 Lings coming out now.
Yeah, 28 Lings and upgrades here. They're not really nearly as poorly timed as they were in the previous game. 1-1 is on the way. Did I see it? No, I thought I saw Spire, but no, the answer is not to that. And a 4th base underway. And Leenock, actually, interestingly enough, he is one of these players that will absolutely go and get a macro hatch. Get it really early as well, which, considering his reputation for being one of the fastest just at least fastest hands in the game. I do find that a little bit surprising, but it does make sense eventually. You know, you get that macro hatch as you do get the 4th base, just to make sure that you have enough larvae to produce zerglings, which of course they're incredibly supply efficient. They're not larva efficient in the slightest.
Yeah, they're you need a lot of larva for lings, and considering he's going no spire, I imagine he's going to be very Lingbane heavy this game, which means he's got to be on top of the splits. Those Widow Mines, they got some decent hits, but you always got to be careful. Those Widow Mines can just end a game. Like 3 Widow Mines and suddenly game's over. Momentum is shifted.
Yeah, pretty much. So here's what I'm wondering, right? Is Leenock, he's establishing himself as 1-1's just about done. It's not going to be all that far behind his opponent. Does he go for a Hydro Den behind this? Is this Lingbane into Hydro Lurker, as we have seen players do? Maybe not as much recently, but certainly that is a popular style there. Or is this just Lingbane into Quick Hive? I'm gonna have to see what exactly he has to go for here, because really the goal behind just going pure Lingbane is it means that you are spending a lot less money, a lot less gas on things. You're able to just find a little bit more. Widowmine's gonna get targeted on down everything else. And now, finally, unlike the entirety of Bailey's gonna get a command center. That's unfortunate.
That's a little bit BM.
Yeah, more of a mistake. But again, unlike the entirety of game 2, Leenock is actually finding some damage, and 11 workers do go down, pretty much equalizing all of the worker losses that he's taken in this game. And it's in one chunk.
Yeah, and I think really importantly, he's pulled Cure back off the map, taken the chokehold off of his creep spread a little bit here. He's going to be able to spread a little more creep, get more Lings and Banes out. Now if Cure tries to move out on the map again, that's a lot scarier. There's more creep, there's more units. He's got to be really, really careful when he's out there.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean, Cure, I don't think
that was not even a cancel. Nope.
And Bailing's killing buildings, sometimes it is worthwhile. Cure on top of this, he is not really building this army supply lead. At this point in the game, that's what you expect, right? 2-2 is just about done. Yes, you got a 4th base on the way, so it's not an 8 racks. But still, you got 5 barracks. You're going to be outproducing the supply of the Zerg for just a little bit longer here until the Zerg really has maybe the 5th base fully saturated. But because we have that macro hatch, and because of the trades, because of the economic damage that Leenock has gotten, well, he's actually done a very good job of making sure. Like, he's gonna get them.
Oh my God!
Down.
Wow, Leenock he's just clicking on command centers this game. Well, that's really good. Cure was not expecting that, or otherwise he would have lifted. And yeah, I mean, this is going fantastically for Leenock. He has enough back at home. Cure hasn't even been able to push up the ramp. He scans, he sees he can't do it, and then he's taking tons of damage back at home and getting nothing across the map. Like we were talking about last game, Lings and Banes are so supply efficient. And yeah, you're right. Cure's army it's 30 supply down against Ling Bane. Pure Ling Bane. There's not any other fighting units on the map.
Well, I mean, part of that is he's been supply blocked for the majority of the game. I'm actually finding some damage here, just nothing in the main base for Leenock, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, Cure losing that command center really supply blocked him rather heavily. So we saw Cure, he had to build a lot of stuff to make sure that he could build units once again. And this has bought Leenock so much time. His Hive is done. The Lurker Den's just about done here. We see Hydra Group Spine underway, getting that extra range. And as you mentioned, Leenock is so good at making sure that he gets his Adrenal Gland ASAP, right? That's on the way as well. Now we don't see 3-3 upgrades, but that's fine. As the Spore at the very end, last of the Banshees, will scream no more.
I mean, we're not seeing 3-3 from Cure either. He can't afford it right now. And that's a scary place to be at for Cure. Okay, he does, as I say that, he starts them up just to prove me wrong.
No, Chicken Man, it's not to prove you wrong. You just summoned what you wanted to see out of the game.
Oh, that's right.
So.
I spoke to the universe and Cure responded.
Screaming into the void, a wild yop, maybe. So here we now. The Lurkers are going to start hitting the field. And by the way, we know Leenock is incredibly confident in this game because we have a Storm Host on the map. I don't know where his hotkeys are that are making him do that, but this is the
God,
it's games where he feels like he's ahead.
It's burrowed under where the 4th wants to go. Oh my God, that's so brutal. Well, it goes down, but it served a valiant purpose.
Now, you want to talk about BM? I think building a couple additional Swarm Hosts and using whatever, that's fine. Building an additional Swarm Host and then burrowing it under your opponent's attempted 4th base, That's a little bit spicier.
It is. It is. I love that he's trying to use the accidental swarm host, though. You know, I feel like a lot of players, they end up just kind of F2ing with the army. They join a random hotkey and then just take up supply. Leenock's been pretty good about actually utilizing them, even if the Locusts haven't done too much. It's better than nothing.
Yeah, so now let's see. We have a drop here on the left-hand side that Leenock is not really prepared for. A drop on the right-hand side as well. But he also got some damage of his own finding his way out into the third base here. And I think that's the scarier thing, right? Because Pure's economic acquisition is so much worse. Actually, he's going to get a bunch of tanks as well here.
Man.
Going in and 20 workers die. Is he going to be able to equalize? Well, 5 workers have died. The answer is no. Wait, did the base go down? Okay.
Yeah, so Cure was able to kill the 5th base here. And it looks like the drop in the main is continuing to be annoying. I don't think it'll be around too much longer, but it's gotten good value. I don't know if it's worth losing 20 workers though, and all those tanks going down as well for Cure. He does still have a healthy tank count though. It looks like he's got triple factory production actually. He is pumping out tanks like crazy to counter those lurkers.
I mean, we are in this position now where Leenock, suddenly his economy is not in shambles, right? He still has money, but now he's only on 63 workers, and as much damage as Cure took, right, with those 20 SCVs going down, he does have 4 command centers. Looks like he's got actually he does have 5 command centers here, and that does mean that he's able to build up enough SCVs. He was able to find his way back rather soon, but hey, Lurker is growing on top of a command center, or on top of a planetary. That's just a dead planetary. Leenock and Cure, they're just trading hammer blows in this game. Another player really all that. Oh, look at that.
What a hero. That's incredible. I've never seen that before.
I mean, we've seen it with, like, you know, Colossus and Hellion.
Yeah.
Certainly not Lurkers on Zerglings. I mean, it makes sense. Zerglings might as well
you know,
be free at this point
it's
in
a
the game.
perfect use of it. I've never seen that before. That's good thinking from Leenock. And these lurkers are just going to stay here until the tanks force them to run away. They're still being annoying to this command center. Cure only mining on 3 bases. He's doing a lot of damage in the upper left again. Once again, going to kill this base. And he's completely denied that 3 o'clock base at the same time. Constantly killing it while it's trying to build.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting here. Leenock put himself in such a wonderful position in the mid game, killing off the command center, right? Doing all this damage. And then Cure has ever so slowly gone. Oh, look at this. We got a Zerglings coming in on top of all of these tanks. And oh, it's a bit of a bait here. Everything's going to burrow on down. There are so many tanks.
There are so many tanks. This tank line is, oh man, it's deeper than a lot of things, but I don't know if I want to go there, but they can't move forward as quickly. You know, the Marines and Marauders and things like that can take advantage of when there's just a few units left, but these lurkers are just going to go continue to deny this 4th base. It's going to be very difficult for Cure to bust out of there.
I mean, also look at the supply here. Leenock, he was up 40 army supply. He was like what? It was 140 supply to 200. Cure has done such a good job of like nickel and diming Leenock, or nickel and diming himself back into this game, right? So we're gonna have another attempted break here. Tanks are gonna siege on up. One it actually is already siege. The lurkers, they're gonna back up just a little bit. Free siege out of range. And Cure, yeah, he's still not mining off of this base, but he should be able to eventually shove these tanks off. It looks like it's gonna be a full-on surround coming on in. Once again, the lurkers, they will get pushed back here, but there is a second line, which I don't know if Cure is aware of.
Yeah, he scanned to kill those earlier, but that was when the attack happened. He didn't end up getting them all. There are 7 lurkers here. That's scary for any amount of Marines. The Lings coming in for the flank at the same time. Oh, that's way too many lurkers. Oh my god. Widowmine maybe doing more harm than good. And there are Hydras here this time to clean up this medevac, so he can't even get the guaranteed escape.
Well, Hydras, I don't know if they're going to be able to get... Yeah, they're going to be able to get in range. The other interesting thing is that was 3 scans forced. I don't know how many scans we have left in the game, but there are only 3 orbitals, I believe. And with that being the case, I mean, every scan is precious, especially when Cure, he does not have that 4th base. In fact, he's not even mining from his main. Leenock, even as he's only on 61 workers, his economic advantage here is rather significant.
And now the Vipers come out. It's super scrappy. I feel like Leenock has the better army for scrappy game, right? Hydra Lurker Viper can just be so cost efficient. Oh no, these lurkers are a little bit trapped right now though. I don't think they're gonna be able to get out of here. They're just gonna go to the corner. They say scan again. Do it, I dare you.
That is okay. So we've had 5 scans. That's what? 1,500 minerals more that Curious just spent trying to kill off those lurkers in a game where he only has 3 bases. So yes, the lurkers are dead. That's a problem. But Leenock has a
Oh my god,
ludicrous bank.
he's building 10 more lurkers. He already has 6 out. He's got like 5 Vipers as well. So any of these tanks, if they siege up in a clump, he's just gonna drop blinding clouds over the entire thing. Ling's getting right on top of this as well, killing some of those retreating tanks.
You know, I almost would have loved to see just a blinding cloud on top of those Marines as he does retreat, because that means that the Marines, they really can't turn and fight against the Zerglings all that well, and suddenly, well, it's 3-3 cracklings. They are able to fight well against a bunch of upgraded bio as, oh, one volley.
It's just kind of gross. There's enough Hydras here to clean up these Vikings, and Leenock is in a fantastic position. Again, it got really close there for a minute, but I think his tech has now saved him. You know, getting up to the Lurkers and Vipers has put him in a fantastic spot. Just as Cure starts mining from his 4th base, the 3rd is getting destroyed. He's actually probably going to lose this command center now. And how does he push in? The Vipers can just pull the tanks in if they try to get too close. And Leenock's not even going to go for that. He's just going to pull back now, rotate around, and Cure taps out, losing all hope.
Yeah, that is a 2-1 for Leenock. In the round of 16. Cure's not even going to be in the money.
That is
just
crazy.
This is actually insane.